Not me doing ands on every count now.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and 6 and
Anthony Bennett.
Console, Crusade, Fantasy Critic, Podcast Draft.
Woo!
This literally kept me up last. I was thinking about this all night.
God love you, EJ.
I think I'm more excited about this than Nick. And this is all his idea.
You've got a lot to prove.
Yeah.
Considering that horrible distant third place you came in last year.
Absolutely. Not to mention the fact that the only year you've won was a COVID-affected year, so that's like the equivalent of, I don't know, the Lakers NBA title in the bubble as far as I'm concerned. Like, we all know that's bullshit.
Wow. Okay. I was going to say, I came from the top to the depths, and now I'm coming back for my crown. EJ Olsen, Nick Durheim, Chris Gillifor, special guest vocalist Brennan Allen.
What's up, guys? Thanks for letting me join in on you on this. I'm excited.
Bren's been on the podcast before. He was a different man back then. He was Brennan Dreyer once upon a time. He's a whole different man's now.
People change.
We're doing our 2023 Fantasy Critic Draft. We went over the rules a couple days ago. I guess there's the one thing that we should settle on before we fully dive into this, which is, are we going to unban the remake, partial remake? Was that what it was? Or remake remaster?
I was just trying to do the same exact thing that I did the prior year, but I got befuddled. I got mixed up.
That's fine. That's fine.
I self-owned, so we can unban the remake. I was just like getting it conflated because there's so many different like flavors of remaster,
Right.
and there's like 3. There's 4 because there's remaster. It's just so silly in the
Right.
rules, the league rules to begin with.
Looking at the band tag, so partial remake, something like Demon Souls. See, Demon Souls to me is a remake.
Demon Souls is a remake.
Yeah, that's weird that it's under partial. Yeah, keep partial remake banned, but unbanned remake.
Agree.
That doesn't help at all. This looks like more of it's like a extra special remaster is the partial remake.
A remake is a game that is made from the ground up that just uses a script from an old game. That's a remake.
The first line in partial remake is, this category is hard to define. Why the fuck does it exist then? No, keep that shit keep that shit banned for sure, but definitely unban remake. We've had remake available every year. No reason not to have it available now.
What I don't understand is like Demon Souls was literally a ground up.
It had the same like physics and everything though.
Oh, interesting.
All they overhauled was like the graphic models, like the 3D models. It wasn't just like a upscale texture thing. It was just model and some anime. Yeah, they did some like additional animations for like death blows.
It wasn't like Link's Awakening, which was a fully new game with an old script.
It was less than Link's Awakening as far as what all they changed. It's almost the exact same map, but with the scrolling instead of like tile by tile for the overworld. So that changes a little bit of the design aspect of it, but it was almost entirely the exact same game with like some additional content with the dungeon creator. But I don't know. See, this is why it gets into the weeds, and I didn't want to have this conversation to begin with.
Let's just leave it how we left it though. Unban the yellow tag, and however Fantasy Critic delineates that, we'll probably have issues with it at some point, but whatever.
Which we can discuss if need be.
I think we literally will not talk about this for the rest of the year because we haven't talked about it at all, like maybe once in the past 2 seasons.
I did bring it up because there are a number of remakes that are like highly anticipated. System Shock, Dead Space, RE4, Kirby. There's a rumored Fire Emblem. Like there's a lot of potential really high profile remakes coming this year. And even though, as I pointed out in the chat earlier, that like our history of drafting remakes is like not great. Like all like from 0 to 5 points a pop. I think Nick, you got like 13 points on Nier Replicant 2 years ago. So and 2 years in a row, we both drafted the Advance Wars remake, and that still hasn't come out. You know, so it's like it's not a give me.
Thanks, Putin.
Yeah, that son of a bitch.
I'm fine with that. Do you want to go over the rules one more time? I know we just did this in the last recording, but Brennan wasn't there for it, so I don't know if you've already walked him through all the options that we've selected.
We did go through everything pretty in detail, but if Brennan, if you have any questions, or if you want to recap, Nick, just so that here for posterity.
Well, I also wanted to verify how many games we are going to be doing total.
I think it should still be 10 plus 11, dude. Let's go balls to the wall, dude. Yeah. Chris is not happy about that.
No, you're a...
Chris, let's get weird.
Do you really want to be dealing with, gee, I wonder if I'll get 3 or 4 points from this shitty game that no one else wanted, but now I have to fill a slot with? Like, I don't know. I liked 8 plus 8.
We were having that with... yeah, last year, regardless.
I liked 8 plus 8.
I think this year's going to be this year is looking more thick than 22 anyway.
I have 57 games on my list that all have trailers that all look good, and I only have 11 games on my avoid list, and we're at the freaking 5th of the year. You know what I mean? So I think it is going to be a much thicker year than the last couple of years because of COVID.
I think you're wildly overestimating how much new shit is going to get announced through the rest of the year. Because if you remember, that's exactly what we said at the beginning of last year. Look at all these great games. And then E3 got canceled. Nintendo was a fucking no-show, no direct, no nothing. I'm like, I just... maybe 9 plus 9, please, for the love of God, take it down like at least a couple slots.
9 plus 10, so it's 9 plus the 9 plus the special
9
slot?
9 plus 9, and one of the special slots is one of those. That's 3 less slots, and we've added a human. Like, I mean, come on.
Hi, Bren.
Hi.
Okay, so what if I still want to draft 10 games, though. So what if it's just 10 plus 8?
I love that. Let's do it.
Nick, how do you feel?
So 20 total games.
Who said
10
that?
games to draft.
Who said that?
How about this? We do 19. You still have a super drop. We got super drops.
Are we? Oh, so you are for sure. We are for sure.
We're doing
using
super
that.
drops. That was confirmed last round.
We got super drop. That did not feel like 100% to me. Super drop. Okay, great. I'm with it.
Okay.
That's fine. And we agreed. We also agreed that the unannounced, the wild card slot, we have to draft that, right?
I think that it's the smartest to draft it now because you have the least amount of things announced right now.
Yeah. I don't think we have to draft the unannounced, but I imagine we all probably will. Unless you want to make it a rule.
No, I want to make it a rule. I want to say we're doing this. We are spending one of our 10 draft slots on it.
But we can drop it if we so choose down the road.
Of course we can.
It's not locked. Okay. So yeah, let's do that. We have to draft our unannounced slot, and that cannot be counterpicked at any point. That's our gentleman's agreement?
Yes. Yes, because that's what we talked about, because it would just be shitty and terrible. We're all going to counterpick our unannounced games and force ourselves. Yes.
And then all use our super drop on. Yeah, it would just be a shit show.
Yeah.
We have the flex spot where we have to draft a remaster, remake, partial remake.
And that doesn't have to be in the draft. That can be at any point in
Yes.
the year. Same with new gaming franchise.
Right. So we're going to draft 10,
Pick up 9.
8,
19 total.
pick up 9.
Pick up 9.
Yeah, because we're drafting the unannounced, which is the wild card. God, I only cut it down 2 slots. Jesus, that's so many fucking video games.
It's gonna be great. I'm so excited.
Chris, what you're feeling right now is how I felt leaving the car dealership.
Except your pockets aren't any lighter right now, Chris.
That's fair. Yeah, you came out a lot better. All right, y'all. We ready to start drafting then?
Okay, so I'm just making sure everything's updated. League options. It's 19 standard games, drafting 10, picking up 9. We have the special slots, which is new game franchise. We have the flex for the remake spot, and we have the unannounced spot. Public bidding still. Let's see, 3 drops for anything that is not released
and not counterpicked.
Counterpick's lock. But this year we have a super drop that will let you drop anything. A counterpicked regular game, or a released game. That'll be interesting towards the end of the year. So what's the draft order? What are we doing here?
We are going loser's order. So EJ, you'll be going first from your distant third last year. Chris is going second. I'll be drafting third. And then Brennan will be drafting after me. And then it snakes back. So then it'll go Brennan, me, Chris, EJ. 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Man. Now it's real. Now I'm excited.
Okay. So I figure we'll go through this. We'll make our pick. Let's try to be quick about it, and then we just give a blurb about why we picked that game.
Super.
Early on, it probably doesn't need much detail. Zelda's going first, obviously, but we'll just kind of go through it as we go.
Have we introduced our league names?
It's different every year. This year, I am Ball Pobble Interactive.
I am Sony Poughkeepsie.
Poughkeepsie, way deep out there.
like New York or something.
Yeah,
Obelisk Soft.
What's the origin of Obelisk Soft?
It's like Monolith Soft, but a different
just
name for a large
shape
pillar.
Yeah.
It's the same shape.
I am going with Firm Soft.
This fucking killed me.
From Software.
This is,
of course, and also firmness and softness.
Yeah, it's you've already won the league in our hearts, Brad.
That's great.
Well, next year it'll just be From Hard.
Nope, too late. Sony Poughkeepsie is getting nuked. I'm changing my publisher name to From Hard right now.
Can you wait? Can you become soft?
I can become soft.
Wait, come sock? Wait, okay, we're off the rails.
I've changed it to Come Soft.
No, you have not.
Yes, I did.
Is he? But it's not C-U-M. It's C-O-M-E.
Well, no, that would be crude.
It would be crass. It would be beneath us.
Oh, we're better than that.
All right, EJ, make your damn draft. Make your first pick.
Oh, are we live? I just refreshed.
Wait, where's the?
Yeah, we're live. We're ready. We're going. I've been ready.
Oh, we're going. Oh,
my first pick is Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. I have to, even though I don't feel good about it, and here's why: because Breath of the Wild was so beloved and ranked as by many people as the best game of all time. The weight of expectations on this game, there's almost no chance it's a bad game, right? 6 years since the last one. But is the weight of expectations going to drag this into the 80s? I think it's likely. I hope not. I hope it's amazing. I hope it beats out the last game in every way possible, not only because I'm going to buy it day one and play it, because I like Breath of the Wild quite a lot, but this is my 95. I like Breath of the Wild. I just thought it was an 80, not a fucking 99. All right, that's my draft. Chris. It's tough. I went through and made a watch list of all the games that I thought were definitely going to be drafted in the top 12, just so I can kind of keep a quick at a glance of what I know what my first 3-4 picks will be based on what you guys take. But then I've got this document of like 57 games where I've broken it down by 90s, 80s, low 80, high 70, flyers, late picks, A Boy Can Dream, It's a Trap, and Hard Avoid. And I've written a blurb about every single game on the list.
Jesus Christ. This is tough. I feel the urge to do something stupid, but I'm not going to.
Do it.
No, shut the fuck up.
I would love it. I would love it.
I'd love
Do
to.
it for me.
Even if I don't win, I'd love to at least like be fucking competitive for a change instead of being the shit stain of this league. Even though I beat you, I was still the shit stain. You just got fucked by Sports Story.
Yeah.
Oh, God. All right. With the number 2 pick, I'm taking the Resident Evil 4 remake.
Oh.
Sorry, Brent. I think
Your first pick.
Besides the fact that I think it will be the best remake, remaster, reimagining, whatever in that slot for the year, best in slot, if you will, for the MMO fans out there. I think the original is like widely considered one of the best games of its time and still one of the best games ever made. And I think that game with some updated systems, a fresh coat of paint, all of the Resident Evil remakes have been broadly praised as incredible. Like all of them. I mean, RE1, RE2, RE3, all of them very, very well reputed. And for 4, which is considered best in series, I think it's going to be a high scorer. It's one I'll be buying and playing day one.
Capcom, despite their standing, they have made consistently good remakes, like you said. It is one of the most beloved games ever. A high point for the franchise. But RE4 kind of had a sort of campy goofiness to it that I think they're going to completely abandon in the remake, I imagine, and make this sort of match the tone of all their recent games. And that might hurt it. But this, I mean, that's a gimme. That's a solid score, no matter what.
I don't know why they would do that though, because in the remasters or the remakes of 2 and 3, at least to my knowledge from folks in my circles who know these games, they kept them very true to the spirit of the originals. So I'd be surprised if they were to do that. Anyway, Nick's drafting. He's
still thinking. That's why I was filling the gap while I waited for a game to pop up.
I thought I saw a furrowed brow that suggested action.
Oh no, I just forgot that my my spreadsheet was still set up for 3 people, so I was hurriedly adding Brennan so I can track this while we're drafting, so I don't have to do it later. I'm drafting Hollow Knight Silksong.
Oh,
This is the year, baby.
Dude, this was my next pick, dude.
I was like, I'm gonna do something stupid. I'm taking Silksong number 1, even though it's got no fucking release date.
No, you don't do something stupid with draft pick 1. You maroon.
But that's what you just did.
No, Hollow Knight.
So Silksong's coming out.
Silksong's definitely coming out, and it's gonna score super well, and I'm gonna love it, and it's gonna be a moral victory, and that's the kind of victory that I like to have. Cheers. Brennan.
Cheers. Let me cross that off my list. I wrote Hollow Knight Silksong. My blurb was finally. Cross her off.
Oh man,
That's funny.
I thought I was mentally prepared for this moment, but I don't think I am.
I have a feeling I know what you're gonna pick.
My first pick is going to be Spider-Man.
I knew it. I knew it.
Smart.
I knew it.
That's a bold
He's a smart
move.
boy.
Yeah. I'm nervous about it because
You should be.
Miles Morales and Spider-Man.
They both reviewed so highly.
Yeah.
High
Yeah.
80s.
Sony, like so far, they don't really do a lot of wrong on their first party games, but
No, that seems like a perfectly worthy first pick, and it would have been one of my next 2 picks had you not picked it.
Man, no release
Let's
date
see.
though.
It's a perfectly cromulent pick.
and then next one is going to be Final Fantasy 16.
Yep,
Oh,
that would have been my number 2.
Not much more to say other than that. It's the new Final Fantasy. Everyone seems to be hyped out. I'm not a big Final Fantasy fan myself, but people seem to like those games.
you know, the last Final Fantasy game, I think Final Fantasy 15 was a 81, an 80 or an 81. So, you know, liked, but not the world beater that you would expect. But it's also been 9 years. When did that come out? 7 years?
2016.
Yeah, it's been a long
16,
time.
okay.
It's been a long fucking time. No, but I think Brennan's on it. I think that all the and it's me. I'm people. I'm the Final Fantasy one. The trailers look fantastic. This is the first Final Fantasy game that, honest to God, I've like just listened to the trailers and gone, they have finally got good voice acting. They localized the script well. They're doing the Game of Thrones thing, whatever. It's super popular. And they're going back to their roots, and it looks like it's gonna be a really solid outing.
There you go. Nick, you are back on the table.
I'm definitely paying attention. I'm sorry.
Oh, man. I don't think my second pick's going to be here when it comes back around.
I'll take my time.
Good. Don't feel
I'll
rushed.
take my time. You're going to be fine. You've got 57 games to look at.
I've already looked at them all.
I'm going to go with Street Fighter 6.
Whoa! Holy shit!
Whoa!
I've had really good luck with fighting games. What can I say? Guilty Gear did me well in 2021. Last year, KOF did okay. And Street Fighter 6 looks fantastic. Everyone is so hungry and ready for a new fighting game. And Street Fighter looks like to be the one.
And Street Fighter 5, a 75% on Open Critic. No, 75 top critic average.
They are coming in to fix, you know, they have this single player mode on launch. There's a character creator. You know, of course, those games are as tight as ever.
It's previewing super well.
Wow. Second pick. That is, I did not expect that.
Is it going to be Anthony Bennett or LeBron James?
Wow. All right, come soft.
Yep, I'm going to do it. I'm taking Starfield. I think that's
Straight up.
At worst, that's an 85. Bethesda's been working on this for a million years. They don't miss. Every single release that they've done in the first party has been a smash hit. Yep, I think it's a safe bet. It's definitely coming out this year.
I tend to want to believe in Bethesda. They have had a lot of more fringe games that are like pretty lukewarm in reception. But like in a world where like reviewers are by and large finally not accepting the quote unquote Bethesda jank from other companies, will they forgive the Bethesda jank in a game this anticipated? Is this a Cyberpunk? Is it going to be a game that's a 9 but gets dragged to a 7 because it is woefully incomplete, as Bethesda games generally are?
I don't agree with that statement at all. That's an outrageous statement. The last major tentpole RPG they released was fucking Skyrim, which is widely beloved as one of the best games ever, and rightfully so. So I'm not hearing that slander.
All right, EJ, explain your pick.
Fire Emblem Engage.
Previews did drop today for Engage.
I did not know that yet. I may regret this pick after looking at those.
Super drop.
The last two Fire Emblem games have been amazing. The last one added quite a bit to the franchise, ripped off quite a bit from franchises like Persona, but I loved it. I put like 80, 90 hours into it. And this kind of game doesn't come around often. I'm really nervous to go look at the previews now. It's just one of those things where like...
EJ, I'm just getting your goat, dude.
Okay, thank God.
Fuck Fire Emblem.
I mean, is this going to be better than Three Houses? Like, again, I look at how amazing Awakening was, which revived the franchise, and then that second game they released on 3DS. I can't remember what it's called now.
Fates.
It didn't review poorly, but it was not as beloved as Awakening, and it definitely had some issues. So I'm a little nervous that this could be another sort of drop like that. But to me, it just seems like I got to kind of follow my heart, and it's a first-party Nintendo game that just puts out pretty consistent stuff. So my next pick, you guys kind of threw a wrench into some of this for me. This is...
Prepare all you want, but I'm chaos incarnate, motherfucker.
You guys kind of threw a little bit of a wrench into this. This is where it's tough. I have a lot of games that I feel pretty reasonable about drafting, but with my third pick, you know? So I'm going Forza Motorsport.
Good pick.
And while Forza 5 or Forza Horizons or whatever that was 2 years ago got me a 90, something, 93, 95, Motorsport games have generally reviewed poorer than mainline Forza games. It's still a beloved franchise, trusted developer. It's going to come out and be a competitor to Gran Turismo, which rebooted last year and was well liked. So
I think Forza Motorsport is the mainline franchise, and then Horizon's the spinoff.
Oh, is that the case?
Yeah.
Yes.
See, I don't know anything about car games other than what I've had to learn for the last couple of drafts / Game Awards. There you go. Hopefully this reboot comes out with a fucking bang.
I don't know why this is, but I like how the title for your pick is Forza Motorsport (parentheses Xbox Series X).
Yeah, baby. That's how you know it's a good one.
Yeah, all those Microsoft exclusive bangers.
Microsoft's out here just quietly doing things with their Game Pass. I love it.
Next year is going to be the one, okay?
No, I'm not denying, like, everybody's in their own lane at this point. Like, Sony is making excellent
Carpun.
first-party exclusive games you cannot get anywhere else, for years at least, until they come to PC. Microsoft is pimping Game Pass everywhere and making buku bucks on that. And Nintendo's like, we have the best stable of original IPs ever. We will never go out of business iterating on these. Boy, I'm looking at these lists and like, this is kind of a top-heavy draft.
Oh, buddy, I can't wait to get into my side list here. There's just so many goodies I can't wait to dive into. I wish we were drafting 20 games.
There's a lot of little nuggets, you know, but I think there's plenty of seeds and stems in those nuggets, shall we say.
Draft Hogwarts Legacy, I fucking dare you.
It's a weed reference.
You couldn't fucking pay me to draft that fucking game. No fucking way. I won't even support that in FantasyCritic. Fuck J.K. Rowling. Fuck Hogwarts Legacy. Fuck the fact that people, especially like lefties who love to talk about, oh, we have to stand up for people, or like, well, Harry Potter's so beloved to me, so I'll still give my money to this fucking turf anyway. Like, no, fuck that. Not even in FantasyCritic will I touch that game. Absolutely not.
How many Harvey Weinstein produced movies have you watched in the last year? I'm not defending J.K. Rowling by any means. I will not be paying for this game, but
he's going to rent it from the library.
No,
dude, exactly.
EJ, I know you went for the gotcha. I'm watching mostly like stuff that's coming out right now, as I'm wont to do, especially during Oscar bait season. I just watched White Noise last night, which was, it was all right. You know what? I am going to take... Oh no, hang on. I have to do one quick Google before I do this. I'm doing all the research that EJ did yesterday right now.
Good call.
Oh, buddy, yeah, absolutely. I'm taking Pikmin 4.
Nice. Good pick.
I think that is every version of that game has been like an 85 or higher. I think that I don't know how you fuck up Pikmin. Like, the formula is so beautiful and simple that if you just do that more, it'll be fine. Pikmin 1 is like one of my most beloved games of all time. And I would love to play Pikmin 3. Did they port that to Switch?
Yes.
Okay, well, I need to buy that like today. Because the game rules. I adore the Pikmin. I mean, every single thing about it, soundtrack, world design, it's just beautiful. Like, I love Like just speedrunning Pikmin 1 is like, I just do that on like a weekend with Joey, like sit down and just like trade levels. Like I love that games. And I think it's gonna be great. And I think it's coming out this year. I think Nintendo, Metroid Prime 4 accepted, does a very good job of going, if we're talking about this game and saying it's coming out in this year, it's coming out in this year, Zelda notwithstanding, I think that's too big. I think that's too big in a way that Pikmin 4 is not. But I think I feel good about that.
Yeah, they definitely have like long-term franchises and short-term franchises as far as their usual marketing cycles. Zelda can withstand being announced and then released 3 years later. I don't think they would do that to Pikmin either.
No.
All right, Nick.
Here I am going for EJ's knees. I'm going for Dead Cells Return to Castlevania.
Oh, great pickup. Great pickup.
Consistently, we overlook the Dead Cells expansions that always come out in like the first quarter of the year, and consistently they get 90 plus ratings.
Last year, 93. 93.
Year before, like 94.
Crazy.
A phenomenal track record from those guys. With DLC like this, I know it's beloved, but there's always the risk that it, Risk of Rain was beloved and it didn't get enough reviews. It didn't drop on Switch yet, but it always makes me worried. Like, will this get enough reviews?
Right, and I would be worried had it not had the history of being reviewed enough.
Exactly.
In the past.
This is not Risk of Rain. This is a Game of the Year candidate.
Is this a cash grab collab? Like, this went on my late picks list only because of if it was a normal Dead Cells DLC, I probably would have picked this in the top 3. But because of the collaboration, something about it unsettled me. But I can't begrudge anyone for this pick. This is probably going to work out.
All right. My next pick is Suicide Squad.
Oh, Brennan, no, you didn't.
This is going to be a good game.
Yeah.
This is going to be good.
I massive fan of Rocksteady. Arkham City is one of my favorite games of all time. I'm excited to see them coming out with new one. Arkham Knight was good, not the greatest, but I think hopefully after the massive flop that Gotham Knights was, people are going to be itching to get some, I don't know, hopefully decent action.
This is going to be a solid in the 80s. Like, the people are going to like this game. It's probably not going to be, hit the peaks that the Batman franchise did in the Arkham games, but like, this is a great pick. I don't begrudge anyone for this.
Hey, EJ.
Chris disagrees.
You want to make our first side bet of 2023 on this game?
Give me your terms.
$10 that game is below an 80.
$10 at Suicide Squad is below an 80. I'll put a tenner on that.
Let's fucking go.
I'm putting it in my notes.
When you were like, remember our side bet? I was like, absolutely. I remember our side bet. That's clear as day to me. And
what we bet on the Game Awards that the indie categories would be different, and they weren't. So I sent you a 20.
That one, stack, but like the league side bet, like I forgot both of them. I forgot both of them.
Oh yeah, the whiskey bet. Well, you're lucky I remembered, and that you won.
I gotta do it. I'm gonna take my next one, Star Wars Jedi Survivor.
All right,
that's a good pick.
Yeah,
that's gonna do well.
Like I said, love the first one. Respawn seems to be doing pretty well with it, so hopefully they can just capitalize on all the shortcomings of the first one.
Seems to me that there's nothing but room for improvement in the gameplay.
There's mostly performance problems, right? And like people didn't like the map.
The map was abhorrent. Wow, that map was terrible. Performance, I didn't have a problem with performance. Performance is fine, and now with the next gen consoles, there shouldn't be any issues. But this is mostly a narrative-driven game for me. Maybe reviewers won't care as much because it's not like God of War. But to me, it's like the story has to be good, and they really knocked that out of the park last time. And so far, the trailers we've gotten have looked pretty gnarly from a narrative standpoint. Like, it's a lot of nothing happening in that world. So I'm a little concerned. I expect it to be good, but I don't imagine how it can be better than the first one.
I feel like you say this every time a major sequel to a game comes out, and I've never agreed with you once. Like playing through God of War, and you're like, it feels like a coda to the first game. And I'm like, what do you want from a sequel? This is the truest sequel I've seen in fucking forever, but that's for another podcast.
Not to mention your guys' conversation about The Last of Us Part 2.
I had a 12-minute sequence in that podcast.
All right, Nick, you're back up, Chief.
What pick number is this that we're doing right now?
You're on 4?
4? They say that fortune favors the bold. I'm going to be drafting the unannounced Metroid Prime 1 HD remake.
You son of a bitch!
What? Really? Metroid Prime HD. Not the trilogy. Not the port of the trilogy. That's
Prime
rumored.
1.
Prime 1 HD.
Oh, that's such a good pick. I didn't think it would go this early, though. God damn you, Durheim.
So it defaulted to going into remake instead of unannounced, but I would like to have that be my unannounced game because I'm not going to be picking any other unannounced game.
I agree, and I think that I'm sure that you can go in there and move that around as commissioner, right?
I can, but I just want to make sure everyone here understands that was my reasoning for this pick.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
Okay.
God
Okay,
damn it.
Thank you.
Oh, that's so good. That's such a good fucking pickup. Because that game in the GameCube days, I think is like a 90. And I think that with dual stick controls, that game's a 90 plus. Easy. I mean, I fucking love that game. Like when we do, well, never mind. We haven't talked about that on here publicly.
Metroid Prime on Metacritic is a 97.
Yeah, I know.
Wow.
It's one of the best ever. It is one of the best ever. And EJ, you know what? Never mind. Let's just put a pin in this. Okay.
Next up comes soft.
I always come soft.
That's my secret.
So sorry to hear that for so many reasons.
I feel bad for myself for having to have heard that.
All right, what have I filled? I filled like all my weird slots already, I think. No, I haven't filled my unannounced. Okay. I am drafting I know after the first year, I promised I was going to retire Big Balls Gilly 4.
He's back.
I'm going Big Balls Gilly 4 on this. Give me the unannounced Elden Ring DLC right now. I'm taking it.
I would say the balls on that are not quite as big,
but unannounced.
But you know, it's still fairly. I mean, they're pretty consistent.
Look, Nick, you've been in a dressing room with me. You know the score.
I do. It's unfortunate. Again, for me.
Not for anybody else, though.
What are the odds that a major Elden Ring DLC comes out this year? They do things pretty slowly, generally speaking. And the Dark Souls 3 DLC was kind of a miss. Lots of 7s.
I'll tell you this. #SuperDrop. Not that I think it's going to get counterpicked, although you can counterpick it if you want. I've got a backup for that slot. I don't think it's going to score as high, but I also don't think anybody's going to draft it.
We're not counterpicking unannounced games. We've already been over this.
We made a deal on that. That's right. You're right. But even if it doesn't come out,
think that gentleman, he's not a gentleman.
EJ is the very definition of a modern major gentleman.
Oh God.
I know. I hate myself for that as much as you hate me for it. Who's picking?
I'm on the clock.
Are you still browsing? I can keep riffing.
No, I've got my first pick here.
All right, let's see it.
For the midpoint of the draft, his 5th pick.
For my remake.
Well, you got 4th and 5th.
Oh, this didn't show up. Why didn't it show up when I drafted it? Show my watch list. Has it shown up?
I just refreshed and it's struggling.
Kirby's Return to Dreamland.
Oh, there
Deluxe.
it is. That's a good pick.
That's what I thought too.
How did that review? 77 on Wii.
I just wanted to fill that flex spot with something that is less of a risk. Something like Dead Space Remake, which I considered.
I'm surprised you didn't take it.
It could be really good, but again, they're fully voicing the protagonist. They're making the ship fully open. Nothing's gated. They're really sort of changing the vibe of the first game, and that could really work. And there's sort of the Callisto Protocol void. So like,
oh yeah,
that could really work, but it also seems like it could be a pretty big risk if it misses. All right, let me just get in my easy 80 on that flex spot and not have to stress about it too much.
I think it's a bit generous saying it's going to get an 80, but it might.
You think?
I think it will. I think it's improving a lot of stuff. I think the multiplayer aspects they've previewed have been really promising. I'm buying it.
Have they shown anything in it that was not in the original version of the game?
Yeah, 4-player co-op Kirby's.
That went over
I thought
great.
the original had that too.
Not to my knowledge. They trumpeted that as a new feature, unless I am woefully incorrect here. But I don't think I am. No, I had that on my watch list too. I think Forgotten Land was so terrific. There's a lot of goodwill towards Kirby right now.
It was so good because it was so different, and this is like back to the old in like the most literal sense. So I'm not sure how much that benefits it.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, as soon as I said that, I was also like, you know what? That still didn't score as high as it should have. And I think people are so, and this is the FromSoft effect, where people are like, oh, this game's not that hard. This game's really easy. And I'm like, why are you gatekeeping the difficulty of a game? Like, take it on its own merits, as I've said on this podcast before. Like, just analyze the game objectively for what it's trying to do. Not every fucking game has to be Dark Souls. Like, just accept it.
I fully agree. I think what is in this game's favor is A, they have an opportunity to sort of fix any of the shortcomings of the last one. But B, looking at the Metacritic reviews at the time, there are a lot of really high reviews. And what's bringing that down is like a single 5 out of 10, whose main critique was Kirby's not varied enough. I think Kirby has found its lane on the Switch, and people are like, yeah, Kirby's not hard in the 3DS and the Switch. Yeah, Kirby's not hard enough. Boo-hoo, it's fucking Kirby. Like, it knows what it is. So I think those critiques probably won't be as overwhelming this time around, but I could be wrong. But give me the 80 and, I'll feel good about it. Okay. I think I'm about to draft my first game that does not have an official release date.
Uh-oh.
Other than summer 2023. This is my new game franchise. Let's see if it goes through.
Sea of Stars.
Sea of Stars. From the developers who did The Messenger, which was really positively reviewed. I can't say words today.
Positively
reviewed. It's a turn-based game with a retro aesthetic. It seems like a gimme, but again, these sort of little indie titles, man, there's so much variance in them, but I'm going to trust their track record.
Doesn't this have some pretty hefty dev support from some previous franchises? Like, am I nuts here? Because I remember I know this title.
I think they got Matsuda to do like a song or two, who did the soundtrack to Chrono Trigger.
Maybe that's what they've been.
That?
Maybe that's what they've been touting. Yeah, because I've seen this. I know this game, and I will probably buy this game.
Yeah, it got announced a couple years ago. It's been hyped.
It was a Kickstarter game, was it not? Indiegogo or some shit like.
Yeah, I don't know if it was crowdfunded or not. Sabotage doesn't need the money. They got a ton from the Messenger. Put that shit on every service. They got that Xbox money.
It was on Kickstarter.
It was a Kickstarter in 2020.
2.5 years ago. No, it's me. All right.
It is you. Come softly into that night.
Do not come softly into that dark night.
Oh yeah, the other one.
I don't feel amazing right now. I don't feel amazing.
Why not? You've been looking forward to this all
because you haven't had as much whiskey as I have, EJ.
I've had nothing but water Malone bubbly.
Open up that bottle of Nikkei. Oh, you can't.
Not without your permission.
The feelings I just saw go across your face in a span of 5 seconds, like, my God, that was a fucking tapestry of emotions.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful.
I am going to draft Octopath Traveler 2. I was a huge fan of the first game. We're now squarely in the middle of our draft picks for 2023. I think this game's probably a low to mid 80s contender, which I think works for that slot number. I loved Octopath 1. I put maybe like 40 hours, 45 hours into that. Did everything except the end game. And the only reason I didn't do the end game is because I didn't realize I was going to have to use all 8 fucking party members. And I should have realized that. It's in the title. But I didn't. I had my 4 that I liked and my 4 that I was like, fuck you. And so I never did finish the end game, but I thought it was a delicious turn-based RPG. I love the soundtrack is incredible. I thought that the 2D, 3D pixel art style really hits for me. I thought that the battle mechanics worked really well. The sort of like, everybody's got their own class kind of thing going on worked well for me. I thought that there were a number of hidden classes by beating optional super bosses that added even more wrinkles into the game. And I enjoyed every minute of it. Every minute of it. I think 2 will only be better.
This was also one of those things that made it onto my 80s list, and then I moved it down.
EJ, we can't just say every time we say anything that something was on your list, because no shit, Sherlock. You put 60 games on
but it was in the 80s, and I moved it down.
That's dumb. The first one was an 84. This is going to be that with some improvements. How is that not a mid-80s game?
I thought this was going to be a gimme 80, but then like I said, I remember Bravely Default 2. And I used the same logic on that because the first game was very well regarded, very sought after, out of print game. And Bravely 2 was kind of a disappointment.
That's a different studio.
But I'm just saying the RPG sort of pendulum swing of like, how do you top something that was as well regarded as it was?
Man, you're tripping. That's my bottom line on this.
I learned my lesson. I got scared away from the RPG sequels. Is it Nick now?
It is me. I'll be boring. I'm gonna go with Diablo 4.
Ooh, that's
my dog's going crazy. She hates that. She hates that decision.
Daisy knows what's up. That's good God, man. I mean,
Diablo 3 has an 88 on Metacritic. Diablo 2 has an 88. Diablo is 94.
That was a long time ago, and Blizzard is literally at their absolute worst point they've ever been. And fair or unfair, I think that public opinion is going to sway. This is a game that I had watched a little bit and was like, you know what? I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole. I think the risk of failure is way too high.
I don't think there's a single reality in which this game gets less than an 80.
I probably agree. Yeah.
It's probably an 80, 81.
Which an 80 would be like a bad score for a Diablo, like a storied franchise like that, but it's just not going to happen.
I don't know. If you were so confident, you would have drafted it higher.
I don't know. I really want Metroid.
And I respect you and hate you for that in equal measure.
Oh, okay. For my next pick, I'm just going to go with a kind of safe remake. I'm going to select Dead Space.
Nice. Yeah, that's been sort of teetering on my eye.
Yeah, I mean, EJ kind of touched on it, and that's really all that has to be said about that. My next one, I am so torn. 2 games that I've been looking forward to. Oh, I think I'm going to go with Atomic Heart as my new game franchise. I wasn't sure what people were going to do, so I decided to wait on it.
That game sketches me out.
A little bit, yeah.
There's some speculation that it's been like entirely faked, that all the footage is just like spec footage and none of it has been actual gameplay, and that the actual studio, it's like a shadow organization that's publishing or something.
Well, I mean, it's their first game, but I mean, this like end of last year, like they've fully done like a lot of gameplay, so I feel a lot more relieved about it. But yeah,
okay, I hope that for you.
I mean, I've been waiting like since 2019. They said this game was going to be coming out in like early 2020.
Dude, same. Yeah. Like I drafted it last year. That was one of my picks, and it got pushed to this year.
The trailer with that fucking Mick Gordon, just banger after banger, dude. I was like, I'm so hyped on this. And if it's fake, that sucks because it looks so sick.
I mean, it comes out next month, so.
That soon? Oh, man. I didn't even know that they had a date on it. I thought it was still like, early 2023, but.
February 23rd, I think.
Yeah, the vibes on that game are very Wolfenstein meets BioShock.
Yeah.
So those are 2 high standards to be compared against. So hopefully it measures up.
Yeah. And they haven't ever made a game before either. So.
Exactly. Yeah. Which, things like that have happened. It's these Twilight picks that I start to just like, I'm losing steam, pick 6. I'm like, well, already got everything I kind of want. I'm not like EJ. I don't have, 30 games. I'll let him get Advance Wars.
I'm avoiding that this year.
I'll let Chris take Skull and Bones.
Yeah, I have a whole list called Chris will pick these, and they are my hard avoid lists. And if he had done any research, he probably would have picked half of these. But he,
you sick little son of a bitch.
Hogwarts Legacy, dude, just fucking do it, Nick.
Nah, I'll save that for pick 10.
Okay,
as a bit.
What's on your Chris will draft these lists, huh, motherfucker?
Oh, I don't want to give it away because then you won't draft them because you'll know that they're bad.
I'm probably not going to draft them anyway.
That's probably true.
I'm going to go for Gunbrella.
Nice.
This is the next game from Doinksoft. They made Gato Roboto. That game ruled. This game had a demo. People like the demo.
Wow.
That's a great pick.
I mean, in the draft? That's a pickup, maybe. Okay, ballsy. I don't even think Gunbrella made my list.
Fortune favors the bold. EJ, I do not need a comment on your list after every goddamn draft pick, okay?
Which list was it on? The people would love to know.
70 to 80 range and a not solid release. It's all in a spreadsheet. Like some nerd.
Yeah, who does fucking spreadsheets for stuff like this? That would be completely ridiculous.
Hold on, let me update mine.
You guys can all. This is a sickness, but also you've each won the league, so
sickness pays.
Plenty to be said for that. Yeah, I'm
Make
updating my watch list here. Well, no, the watch list doesn't auto update. It's just like, oh, guess what? These aren't here anymore. Like,
yeah, that's fair. It'd be nice if, well, at least it tells you the status, at the very least.
Some of the UI on this is just wretched. Okay. Really quickly, we lifted the ban on remakes, right? Which means that if I were to draft a remaster, I could use it in my remaster, remake, blah, blah, blah slot.
Correct.
Okay. I think
it would automatically force you to do that because otherwise you would not be able to pick a remaster. Because currently, Resident Evil 4 Remake counts as your flex slot. I don't know if it'll automatically swap it in or if it will not allow you to draft it. If it won't allow you to draft it, then we can move that. We're all very deep in thought.
I'm reading through my list, Nick.
EJ, you seem like the kind of person who would, in their free time, start a draft with just yourself and try to beat yourself.
That cuts deep, dude.
You're goldfishing this draft.
I would never.
No flyers in draft. No flyers in draft. No flyers in draft. Okay, I'm taking Redfall. That's a game that last year I only counterpicked, literally only counterpicked because I knew it wasn't coming out last year. I think that the studio's got a good track record of success.
Prey got an 81.
Prey's a great game.
Yeah, Arcane Whips.
Yeah. If you get an 81 on pick 6, that's a win.
Yeah, I think it's a solid pickup. Do you disagree? Is that on your Chris will draft list?
No, that is on my flyer list.
I can't fucking believe you have a Chris will draft list.
Yeah.
I drafted well last year. Thank you so very much.
Not as well as your boy, though.
Within a point.
Okay. You want to go big balls Gilly 4, dude? Hit that Destiny Lightfall expansion.
Not a fucking chance. That's for the side league. That'd be my expansion pickup for the side league with Leaf and True.
Dude, there's a lot of good options right now. A lot of good options.
Couldn't agree with you less.
You have 2 picks in a row.
Well, I don't mean like now we're in the back half of the picks. It's like everything is kind of like you want this indie game or do you want this unproven AAA experience? And the variance is as big among any of them. But a lot of games that I'm personally excited for. It's like I would love to draft the Plucky Squire, but it doesn't have a date, you know?
Would you really love to draft the Plucky Squire?
Have you seen anything about that game?
Something you're trying to tell me? Yeah, it got announced at an Indie Direct last year.
Dude, I think I was goofing when I saw that thing, dude. I really liked it.
Why don't you draft I Am Jesus Christ?
I don't know what that is.
Why don't you draft Goodbye Volcano High? That got announced at the Sony PS5 event. It's the furry game with the dinosaurs. Brennan remembers.
Which one?
Goodbye Volcano High.
Does not ring a
bell. You play as a bisexual pterodactyl or whatever.
Yeah, we watched that together. I remember that.
I have no idea. I don't think I've ever heard of it.
Here's where I'm going with this next pick. And in my notes, I wrote, Elden Ring clones abound. And about this particular game, I said, too difficult? Similar setting as several recent popular games, too. Meaning, like, classical Eastern settings.
So what, Lies of P? The Pinocchio Souls game? That
does look cool, but
it looks cool.
It's on my watch list.
No, it comes down to either Wolong, Fallen Dynasty.
Are you between 2 Team Ninja games? Is that what you're trying to say?
Or Black Myth Wukong. And so, yeah, Elden Ring clones abound. Kind of a saturated market.
An Elden Ring clone. That got announced before Elden Ring even came out.
Souls clone. Elden Ring is just now the default nomenclature because of its massive populator. And this looks kind of derivative, but Souls fans are mentally ill. So it's like one of these games, there's like 4 of these games coming out supposedly this year. One of them is going to do really well.
Does that mean it will review really well, or that a lot of people will play it in spite of the fact that it's a paltry imitation of the original?
If a game reviews poorly, not a lot of people are going to play it, especially with a niche genre like the Souls game.
Pokemon Scarlet and Violet selling 10 fucking million copies.
Highest selling franchise in the history of media in the human history versus like an obscure niche genre that finally had its moment in the spotlight. Like, people aren't going to buy it if it reviews poorly. People only bought Elden Ring because it reviewed so well.
That's outrageous. Everyone was going to buy that game, and you goddamn well know it.
Nobody bought the last 5.
A lot of people bought Dark Souls 3. That game sold like almost 10 million copies. That's a very popular franchise. Just because Elden Ring hit like 20 million or whatever doesn't mean that the prior games didn't sell well.
Make a pick.
That's a weird metric.
It had its niche. Listen, I'm pulling a Chris right now. Chris takes this long on every pick, and now he's up my ass about it.
Well, you have a list of 90 games that you think are going to be 10 out of 10s and have release dates that you're like, oh yeah, there's still a lot of good games to pick from. And it's like, well, it's taking you 10 minutes just to decide what you're doing. So shit or get off the pot. You still have another pick after this one.
Good.
You piece of shit.
Company of Heroes. I went completely off of what my tangent was just going to be about a Souls game because you guys are assholes. Company of Heroes, classic RTS game, classic setting. Seems like this is going to have its niche and should do okay.
Yeah, you're insane. That's like a 73.
Maybe, but like I said, the last few are well regarded.
It'll probably be an 80. They'll probably do okay.
Yeah, I don't feel bad about it at this spot. I know that we said it a million times, no flyers in the draft.
No, here we go.
And maybe I should wait until this has a date. You guys fully scared me away from any of the Souls games. I couldn't make a decision between those fucking games, and so I just backed away. This is so fucking stupid of me here. Oh, I shouldn't do it.
Are you going to do like Wild Hearts or something?
No, hell no. That game's going to be fucking trash. It's going to be a 68, dude.
That game has 72 written all over it. Come on.
You should trust your instincts, whatever you're thinking right now. You should just trust your instincts.
They've never steered you wrong before.
Okay, I was gonna draft Assassin's Creed Mirage, but it doesn't have a release date, and my instinct says take something with a release date. So, I hate you guys so much.
Hey, you're the one with all the lists.
I'm going Wolong. Fuck it. I don't feel good about it. This is actually the one that I felt like the least good about of all the Souls clones that are supposed to be coming out this year. But this one has a release date. The consensus is that it's like pretty fucking hard, which is like not something that a Souls vet would describe a Souls game as. So that's a little concerning.
People thought Sekiro was hard before it came out, though.
That's true. How did Sekiro do?
Like 90, I want to say.
Wow. Okay. Is this the same company?
No.
That's the other one.
Wolong is Team Ninja. They did Neo.
How did Neo do?
85, 83. They also did another game called Metroid Other M.
It's the best Metroid game, so I don't know what the problem with that is.
You know what? Nope. I'm not touching that.
You have something to draft here, Chief.
That's bait. That's bait.
That's bait.
I'm going to take Like a Dragon.
Ishin.
That's a remake.
It is a remake. Yakuza, a well-scored franchise by all regards. This a previously Japan-only iteration during the PS3 era that is being...
also came to PS4.
Yeah, oh, you are right. You're right. PS3 and PS4.
Also didn't review well.
In Japan, like 7 or 8 years ago, 9 years ago, maybe. I think it's a very, very popular franchise at this moment.
It's like Shenmue, which is also a bad game that I don't understand why people like.
It's a spinoff. It's back in time.
Shenmue is modern day. The dude drives a forklift.
Is he certified?
Yes, he gets certified. It's relevant to my interests. I'm defined by my job.
This will probably work out for you then, and it'll go to show how useful my fucking list was. All right. What you doing, Nick?
I'm just scrolling. I'm looking at games that I want for categories.
Bren, what was the video we were watching earlier? Was that the Wulong or was that the...
No, that was Black Myth. Wukong.
It was the Wukong, yeah. I get those confused for obvious reasons. That one looks so cool, man.
Yeah.
What's the other Souls like that looks really cool? Atlas Fallen. Have you seen anything about that, Nick?
Souls game not made by FromSoft equals pretty poor experience 9 times out of 10 for me.
They all seem to review well.
Just the 2 that you found.
Yeah, I made my mistakes playing all those clones. I tried like Lords of the Fallen was...
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. It specifically was Lords of the Fallen. It's like,
yeah,
man.
Not good.
And then what's the mech one they did?
Yeah.
Not mech, but like cyberpunk one.
Yep, that's exactly the next one.
Exosuit. I can't remember the name of that game.
The Surge. They made a second one too. Yeah,
they did.
I tried my hardest, but I could not get into it.
They made 2 Lords of the Fallen, and now they're rebooting the franchise with just Lords of the Fallen without the. Oh man, yeah, that's like AA Souls though, so it's understandable that it wouldn't really hit the highs. I want to be basic, but I don't want to be basic. I am gonna go for. Oh no.
Do it.
Because I know it's coming out and I know it's going to score above an 80.
Hogwarts Legacy?
I will be the one who takes Hogwarts Legacy.
Yeah. Watch it do like an 89 and all of us are just sitting here eating our fucking boots.
It's the price you pay for morality.
That's fine. That leather is very nutrient rich.
Oh, man. I'm going to choose my unannounced game.
Oh.
And that's going to be the Metal Gear Solid remake.
Ooh. Oh, wow.
Ooh.
Ooh.
So bold, dude.
Yeah.
So bold.
I mean,
you think it gets announced and comes out this year?
Big balls, Brennan.
I don't know.
That's fair.
We'll see. We'll see. It's, swinging for the fences there. Like, it's my favorite franchise.
I want that for you.
I do too, but goddamn.
Listen, he could drop it and pick up another unannounced game later.
Yeah, that's true.
So
it's true.
Whatever.
Okay. Now what else is there?
Had to rip that Band-Aid off eventually, and you did it.
Exactly. I'm going to go with Lies of P. I think it's the Bloodborne that people have been wanting.
It's the Lords of the Fallen of the Bloodborne franchise.
Dude, I mean, it looks cool. I'm really excited for it. I'm going to buy it and I'm going to play it. So we'll see how it works out.
Can't begrudge you for it. Honestly, it was just that lack of a release date that scared me. And I'm sure half of these will get a release date in the next 3 months. And
oh, yeah. I don't think that's coming out this year.
Honestly, like, Bren's just looking solid across the board.
Yeah, he's going to fuck us. Dude, just looking at the hype factor, a lot of people are just fucking idiots. I don't know who plays this and is fucking drafting Horizon Forbidden West Burning Shores, The mid DLC to the game.
Yeah, I could see drafting the VR game. That looks kind of interesting. And
who's drafting Forspoken, besides Chris last year? So that just happened. Chris drafted that game last year.
No, fucking do it again.
It is coming out.
Whether you want it to or not, it'll come out.
As soon as Nick makes a goddamn choice.
I'm sorry. I'm frozen with options. I'll just pick something off my watch list. I'm going to go with She Dreams Elsewhere.
Whoa.
Indie Darling had a demo available for a while. The game's supposed to come out this year. It was supposed to come out last year, like December last year, but it got pushed. Maybe soon. It's one of those Undertale likes that the people like to play and to have feelings about.
Never even heard of it.
It's got a cool vibe.
Welcome to League, where the games that no one but Nick has heard of score in the fucking mid-80s.
Oh yeah, that reminds me. I should be looking up visual novels and what's coming out in the next 6 months.
I bet you will too. As much as you liked to mock Forbidden West's expansion pack for, are people really going to draft this? I think I'm going to draft it. I think it was a very well reputed game. I think that it's definitely going to get reviews, aka it's going to avoid the EJ Olsen effect.
You're drafting the DLC, not the VR game.
Correct, because the VR is going to maybe get 2 reviews, maybe, and they're not going to be favorable because fucking no one has VR headsets.
That game is going to get reviews. There are dedicated VR outlets.
They're not going to be good.
Oh, is this side bet number 2?
I've got an Oculus. I'm fucking telling you, like, no one plays these things. Nobody cares. It's about like PSVR. Nobody fucking cares.
Isn't it a launch title for the VR2?
It is. PSVR did pretty well. And if these units are actually available, but everyone's going to review it. Like Nick said, VR dorks are out there. There are outlets dedicated to this.
Labo VR got reviews.
So you wanna side bet that Burning Shores reviews worse than the fucking VR Horizon game if it comes out?
I would probably rather just make a bet on the quality of the VR game.
Oh, if it's not an either or, I'm out.
You're gonna have to draft it if you wanna have a side bet on it.
Yeah, EJ, pony up. Come on, Eej.
Want to put your money where your mouth is, EJ?
Hit refresh on that motherfucking page, boys.
Okay, yeah, there it is. Call the mountain.
Call the motherfucking mountain. This is not something I expected to draft today unless literally all of my picks were taken from me unceremoniously. But Chris, what do you think that is going to be? You're steadfast in thinking VR is trash. No one's going to fucking play it. It's going to be ass. What do you think that's going to be?
I don't think VR's trash. I just think that it's... I don't know that there is more than 2 or maybe 3 VR games on the market right now, period, that are worth anybody's time in a Fantasy Critic League. And I don't know why this, of all things, is going to be the next one on like the 3rd best virtual reality on the market right now, that they're going to somehow have something that's worth more than like 75 points on their hands.
75.
There's no Aloy to simp for in this game.
It's at least an 82.
It's an 82.
Yeah.
How much you want to spend on that?
I say I go overboard, but I want to keep it in. I want to keep
50.
it. I put 50 on it. I don't give a shit.
$50 on this fucking.
I'll do a bottle of whiskey on fucking Horizon Call of the Mountain. I'll do it.
Abso-fucking-lutely not.
Not very confident about that 82.
How much is a bottle of Trader Joe's stuff that you like?
Oh, I think that the like cask strength stuff that I'm drinking today was like $25 or $30. I go $20.
20 bones.
$20.
$20 that it is below 82.
EJ4, Chris against. It's documented.
I hate how my draft has turned out. I fucking hate it.
What was the first one? I already forgot what the first one was.
$10 that Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League gets under 80.
Oh, that's gonna be a terrible game. Sorry, Bran.
That's okay.
The stuff that they've showed already looks fucking awful, and Gotham Knights was the worst one they've made since they've had the license available to them. Why are they gonna add anyway?
Gotham Knights wasn't Rocksteady, different studio.
This is Rocksteady. The last game was Arkham Knight,
which was also like the worst of the franchise, worst of the trilogy.
Yeah, but the bar's pretty high on that trilogy. So like saying it's the worst one isn't.
It's not that damning.
Yeah. All right. I drafted Theater Rhythm Final Bar Line.
Wow.
The last release was over an 85. All right. This is totally a flyer, but it's a rhythm game by Squeenix. This could do well.
That's a flyer for sure.
It's a flyer, but it's pick 9, so I don't give a fuck. My draft is completely falling apart on me. I have
pick
fucking
9.
A VR game, Company of Heroes, and fucking a rhythm game from Square Enix. I'm fucked.
Yeah, and you got goaded into like 2 of those picks. Like you have no one to blame but yourself.
EJ, you're a mark.
I am a fucking mark. I'm a fucking.
After all this time researching and studying,
I'm drafting better than you. Let that sink in just for like half second.
You picked Starfield, Elden Ring DLC. You have a remake of a 7 out of 10 game that came out on the last 2 generations. You have 2 Bethesda games. That's the gamble.
I have 2 Bethesda games. What's my other Bethesda game?
Arcane is Bethesda.
Oh, okay. Redfall's gonna be great. I'm not worried about Redfall. Jeez Louise.
Redfall's a solid 80.
Horizon is more Horizon. Like, what do you, I mean, it's going to get reviews. It's going to review about the same as the other one. And if they have even one new feature or system or anything.
Burning Shores is a solid 80. We're talking shit about 80s here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Company of Heroes starts with a 7. Tell you right now.
Nah, well, maybe. It's possible. They've been pretty iffy with their expansions for Co 2. So we'll see how they do a 3. I haven't seen any of the early impressions. There was demos last year, wasn't there?
Yep. And the original ones have reviewed really well. Yeah, the expansions are all in the 7s.
A whole bunch of this stuff.
Well, I have to hit my unannounced game next, don't I?
Yeah.
Ooh.
And half court shot, buzzer beater.
Boy, you really sat on that.
Actually, all of the Company of Heroes DLCs have all been 80s. 81, 79, 81, 79. And then those last games were in the 9s. 80 on Metacritic. Metacritic's always lower than OpenCritic.
I want to take this Tales of Symphonia remaster because I know that it's like a very well reputed and very well beloved RPG, but all that I've read, this is even before doing any research in the last 48 hours, like everything I've heard about that game is people bitching that it's only running at 30 frames per second. And I just fucking know that is going to impact the score enough for it to not be worth my time, which is really disappointing. And I'm going to buy it anyway because I've wanted to play this game since like GameCube and just never did.
Yeah, it seems like they're kind of half-assing it as far as the love and attention that a lot of remakes and remasters have gotten over the last few years. They're doing it based on the PS2 version, which had more content, but was sacrificed by the frame rate, which that's how they've done like a lot of their later releases of the game.
I just don't fucking care about frame rate on a 20-year-old RPG. I just want to be able to play it on my modern console, but
then draft it.
No, because I know it's gonna, like, I'm smart enough to know that the review score for that is going to be bad because people are gonna go, moo, it should be at 60 frames per second. Who fucking cares? It's a JRPG from the GameCube era. Jesus Christ.
I'm just biting my tongue until Chris drafts this next pick because I got thoughts.
I'm taking System Shock.
That's a great pick this late.
Yeah, I think that's a sleeper, 85, 86. It was, I mean, it was BioShock before BioShock was BioShock. And here it comes with a full remake.
It's a BioShock and Fallout team.
Did I detect a hint of approval from you, EJ?
Yeah, that was a fucking great pick. And the fact that it's still on the board, I took Theater Rhythm fucking final bar before goddamn System Shock. Yeah, dude. You guys got me all fucked up.
EJ's losing sleep. You're losing sleep tonight for that one.
Oh, yeah, dude.
What did you think I was going to take? What did you think I was going to take? You thought I was going to take
you were going to take Tales of Symphonia. Which is the number one on the Chris Will Draft This board. The last re-release of Tales of Symphonia got like a 64.
And like, I know that because I fucking Googled it.
Stay away.
I Googled it.
It might do better than that, but that was the top. That's fine. I actually, only one of my avoid games got drafted, and it was Nick with Street Fighter 6 off the top.
I'm funny. What can I say?
Oh, man.
Speaking of which, I'll just round it out. I'll grab Tekken 8. It's not announced for this year, but I don't think they would have showed it last year if they weren't like trying to get people ready for it this year, you know?
Let's see how Tekken 7 did.
Tekken 7 came out so long ago. That game came out in arcades, I want to say like 2014 or 2015. They've been too busy just making everything else, I guess.
Tekken 7.
It's the same team that does Soul Calibur,
Tekken
right?
7 was an 82. It's very solid. If your number 9 pick nets you 80 points, great pick. I'm spooked by that lack of release date, though. I'm really spooked by that lack of release date.
Yeah, it's a little bit sketchy, but I'd rather go for a maybe 80 than like some of my other crap that I have on my list, just for the watch list.
I'm stressed the fuck out about you guys really, I got fucking.
You gotta do your unannounced.
Yeah, I already have it. I know what Brendan's going to draft here. Actually, maybe not, because I don't think it's showing on the first 2 pages of the most anticipated.
Let's do a prop bet on EJ's unannounced.
I'm interested. I think this one's kind of out of left field, at least for me.
I'm here for it. I love a good left field.
I'm going to choose Sons of the Forest.
Ooh, interesting. I'm not familiar with this game.
Yeah, I mean, it's a survival. The first one,
Valheim.
Oh, that one.
Yeah.
It's the Forest sequel.
It's the Forest sequel, yeah. So,
okay, I have heard of this. I forgot the name.
That one got, really good reviews. It's pretty fun. I'm not too super into survival games, but I like the horror aspect of it. So we'll see. My last one,
Payday 3.
That's not a bad pick.
It's a terrible pick. It's not. It's a terrible pick. Go look at the scores for the last couple Payday games. It's a horrible pick.
Alan Wake 2.
Nice.
Ooh,
okay.
Nice.
That doesn't have a release date, does it?
It's a bit of a flyer as far as like if it comes out this year.
Yeah. It's scheduled for this year. So, I mean, it's been 4 years since Control came out.
And they've been, working on 5 games at the same time?
Yeah.
What's the game that's supposed to be coming out that's in the Control universe? Was that Alan Wake 2?
Yes. And also no.
Yeah, they did DLC. And I think they're supposed to be like, is that like a multiplayer Control or something? I'm not.
Yeah, they've got that and a sequel for Control and Alan Wake 2, which is also technically part of the Control universe. And then maybe a 4th game. I can't remember.
All right, Nick, you're up, Chief.
With the 10th pick.
Yeah, pick 10. We don't have to do our flex spot, our remake necessarily today.
No, not
So
necessarily.
I think I'll hold off on that. I can afford to hold off on that. There's bound to be a good remaster announced, or maybe not. Maybe I do the funny thing.
Oh,
Hold on. Let me do some last minute research.
nothing wrong with that.
Not that, the original score is going to really reflect 100% of the time on a remastered score, but sometimes it does. Not having a release date. Oof. Do I do that at number 10? I'll talk myself into it. I'll do it for the culture. I am drafting Braid Anniversary Edition.
Whoa! I didn't even know this was coming out.
Yeah, it's like all remastered 4K assets and everything.
Dude, Braid fucks, dude. Hell yeah. Okay.
He goes forward and backward in time. It's crazy.
I beat that game.
Same.
That doesn't happen a lot.
I started playing it, but I was waiting for the remaster.
It's going to be identical to
I just want it to look prettier.
That could be a stupid number of points.
If it gets enough reviews, that's the thing.
If it gets enough
it'll have to
reviews.
come out in like a slow period.
all right, Chris.
Oh God.
Just pick, was it Crime Boss, Rocket City? Just pick that one.
Boy howdy, I sure have that on my watch list.
Dude, that shit looks tight though.
All right, if it's so tight, you can pick it up then. I don't think you're going to see a lot of competition.
It's got an all-star cast.
This is where I wonder about. This is the first time I've had to think about if something's going to hit early access. Is it going to exit early access with enough time for it to get enough reviews for it to be worth my time? Because I think it would be worthwhile if it does get enough reviews.
Or reviews in early access.
Yeah, but I don't even know that. I don't know that those count for us because we have planned for early access tag band.
No, we have currently in early access banned, but we also have game must be released to get points. And I don't think reviews under early access would count under that rule, right?
Maybe not. I'm not sure.
Yeah. So Hades 2, stay away. Stay
no,
away.
I've not. That's vaporware at this point, as far as I'm concerned. Boy, with that 10th slot, it really is pick your poison territory. And some of these I'm just like, this is not. It's either not coming out or it's not going to be good if it does come out.
The question you should be asking yourself is, will this game score better than Theater Rhythm Final Bar Line?
Dude, the last one got to 85, 86.
No, that's a solid pickup. Like we mock it, but it's a solid pickup.
How did Kingdom Hearts Memories of Melody do?
I don't know, but I don't think that's necessarily the right bar to compare it to because the Theater Rhythm games, there's like 2 or 3 of them at this point. They kind of have their own thing going.
77, that seems like a high 70s Theater Rhythm these days.
Oh, maybe. I'm just going to do it. I had it watch list for a reason. I am drafting Kerbal Space Program 2. I think it could. I think it's hovering around the 80s if it gets enough reviews that count. It's going into early access in like a month, which means plenty time for it to release proper. If not, #Drop City.
Didn't the Kerbal team get bought by Take-Two and then everyone got fired?
I don't know.
Uh-oh.
I mean, it could still be good. I'm not sure if that's actually going to come out.
I'll see what the early access reviews are like, and I can always drop it.
Do I follow my heart in what I want to happen, which would be drafting Let's Go 2?
No, EJ, God, run. I say this as your friend, not as your competitor in League. Fucking walk away. It's never happening. Pick something that is actually coming out. Don't waste a drop on something that it's never fucking happening. It hurts me too, buddy. It hurts me too. But you gotta walk away.
I appreciate you being a good friend in that moment. So I'm going to do the smart thing and draft the oft-rumored Fire Emblem remake. One of the 2 Japanese releases will likely come out this year.
That is still an outrageously bad choice. Jesus Christ. Like, there's so
Why?
many... because it's not happening.
It's been rumored for like 2 years.
So has Metroid Prime HD, and I still think Nick's an idiot for drafting it as high as he did.
I don't remember actually hearing any Metroid Prime HD remake rumors.
Then you haven't had your ear to the ground, my friend. It's been all literally since Dread came out that they were going to release that. And then, it's being pushed to coincide with Prime 4. And, it's being pushed to coincide with this, that, and the other.
Were these source rumors from people who have a plug and who have been right in their predictions? Or is this just fan shit where people talk about what they want to happen or what should happen or what will probably happen?
Sourced rumors. I am not on Twitter. I am not on forums.
Show me the Carfax! picks.
I could, but Nick can back me up here. These have not been like just somebody who has an uncle at Nintendo, so to speak. Like these have been well-reputed, well-reported rumors, and I'm still like, I'll believe it when I see it. You know what I mean? Like, buddy, damn, that's it. We got to draft counter picks now.
That's it. Counter picks.
Ooh.
You know it's a good year when you don't feel happy with having to counter pick.
Absolutely. Brennan, do you understand the counter pick system?
I think like for the most part, yeah. Yeah, so like if it reviews well, you lose like all the points. If it like reviews bad, you gain points off of.
Yeah, basically. It's like a reverse pick, and it also blocks them from dropping it, but we are also enabling a thing that can supersede that. So just think of it as a block, and also if you choose poorly, then it can bite you in the ass.
Yeah.
Like last year, EJ counterpicking Monkey Island, which got like high 80s, and that lost him a pretty hefty sum. Gotta pick something, right? That's the thing.
We're not picking unannounced games, remember?
Right.
So
I am going to counter pick the Dead Cells.
Whoa!
Interesting.
That's really. Oh no, Brennan, no.
We should have.
Oh, wait.
That's a give me.
Oh, I didn't click it yet. So
okay.
Then don't.
We just saved your
don't
ass.
fucking click it because that's a minus like 22, dude. You don't want to do this to yourself.
No.
Okay. Okay.
Holy shit.
If you really want to.
Yeah, that'd be great for Nick. Here's the thing about these counter picks is that the most likely counter pick candidates in this current draft, super picks will probably be used on all of them. Someone's got to counter pick Alan Wake and he'll just drop it with his super pick. Or super drop. So it's like
maybe
kind of moot right now. We'll see.
Gotcha.
It all depends. There's strategy in holding onto your super trap until later in the season.
Till New Year's Eve, baby.
Well, yeah, but if you just want to have a dead slot.
I don't know. This is the scary part.
Well, last year we did 2 counter picks in the draft, and this year we're only doing 1, and then you have to do the other 3 picked up throughout the rest of the season.
If I super drop something, I can still fill that slot with something new, correct? It's not
if you have enough time. If you have enough time, yeah.
Well, sure. Yeah.
Right. And if you super drop one of your counter picks, then you have to counter pick something else. Otherwise, you lose the 20 points.
Just because I didn't really know what it was. She dreams elsewhere.
That's fair. There's a chance that it doesn't come out, or a chance that it does come out and doesn't get enough reviews.
I drafted 2 games last year that were like all the previews were like super positive. This could be the next like indie darling. Oh, comparing it to things like Journey and all these other things. They both fucking tanked with like low 70s. So
I remember Memoir Blue.
Yeah, total crapshoot.
Yeah, it's rough out there. I know. I'm trying to like diversify my counter picks. I felt like we were kind of ganging up on Chris a little bit for mostly good reasons.
And yet
there was better options still available. So I want to make sure that I'm accounting for everyone, and I'm like looking at my options as far as what is like a just juicy ripe fruit for the counter picking. You know what I'm saying?
I think it's less obvious than last year. Last year there was some stuff that I think we all kind of knew. This probably is not coming out this year. And like 3 of my 4 counter picks, I locked y'all into slots. And that was great. And the one that I didn't was still a relatively minor hit on my points.
Yeah, River City wasn't that bad. I mean, it was less than an 80, which is a pretty good counter pick. With our league, with an average of like an 80, we averaged really high.
If I counter pick a game and somebody super drops that game, do I now have to fill my counter slot again?
I'm not sure.
Huh.
I wouldn't think so.
I would hope not. Because then super drops now just hurt people. It hurts us. It's not even that useful.
I would be okay with overriding that. But I think you would probably keep it as your counter pick, but it just wouldn't negatively impact them anymore.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
So if somebody picked a game that got like a 50, like you would still get those 15 points.
Even if they dropped it?
I would assume.
Okay.
Even if they dropped it, I would assume that would be how it works.
That's how it should work.
It's how it should work.
Well, what if they drop it and it scores well? Do I lose those points?
Yeah. It would work both ways.
Wow.
That'd be a funny and bold move by them. They think they could do better, or they just haven't done worse. That's crazy. That is probably not going to happen. I've been so focused on like what I'm going to be picking that I haven't like been really considering too deeply how well I think any of your picks have been or like the likelihood of them coming out. So counter picks are a good opportunity for me to reflect on that. Look around. EJ's only iffy pick is still probably going to be a high 70. Chris has solid picks with a few minor exceptions, which I still think will probably be in the 70s. Brennan's just banger after banger, or I'm just not confident. Like stuff like Sons of the Forest. Like, I don't know how well a sequel to a survival horror kind of survival game would be, but it might just be like one of those cult games that only gets reviewed by the people who are fans of the original. Like, that's such a likelihood that I don't feel confident in countering that. I think I'll probably just go with Kerbal 2 because of the weirdness with the developer and how that's been like kind of something I've heard like via news. So I'm going to counterpick Kerbal Space Program 2.
I think it's a smart counterpick. It was my 10th and final pick for a reason. I mean,
yeah, TBA date, you know.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's early access in like February 14th. So but will it release widely? Who knows? Early access can, I mean, like hashtag Dwarf Fortress. I mean, it could mean fucking anything at this point. Oh boy. Now let's see here.
Chris, you're going to counterpick one of your side bets, right? Because you put your money where your mouth is.
EJ, you never double down. Come on, buddy. Okay. Look, I've had
the swift rebuttal.
Nice bait.
I've had like 3.5 of these, and they're 60% by volume, and I still know that's a fucking stupid idea. Like, come on.
Okay. Yeah. Counterpick my Horizon Call of the Mountain, motherfucker. I dare you.
No, you never double down. You never double down. I, like Nick, have not thought a bit about this yet.
We've had like 10-minute gaps of silence. What are y'all doing during that time?
I'm keeping the draft
Drankin'
spreadsheet organized.
I respect it.
Excuse me.
I respect it.
And then later, I'm going to be populating all these games with release dates that have them.
Nick took my counterpick. It's tough. Chris will probably take my other
I figured
counterpick.
you'd be counterpicking Like a Dragon.
That is the first thing on my radar.
You don't think there's any games amongst our list that will get delayed out of this year?
Well, that's what I'm trying to look at right now. I'm going to counterpick fucking Silk Song. Force your super drop on their number one pick, Nick.
That'd be funny. Force you to super drop your counter pick then, you mean?
Yeah, you know, it's coming
it's a
out.
freaking 93.
Small brain energy right there. Man, yeah, this is tough. There's really not any good picks here.
Well, Long's looking sus. I'm not sure if that'll break an 80.
New IP though makes me nervous.
Dude, honestly, all the Souls-like that I watched trailers for, there's 4 of them, including Lies of P, they all look fucking tight.
Yeah,
I know. They don't look like Lords of the fucking Fallen, you know?
Fair.
So, I don't know. I don't know Souls games like you do, so.
I haven't just heard enough preview coverage of Wo Long to have like a gauge on it.
I'm going to counterpick Tekken 8 because I think that was a pipe dream that comes out in 2023 to begin with.
Took my fucking counterpick. God damn it.
Counterpick Like a Dragon, bitch. Put your money where your mouth is.
I would not feel bad about that, but I'm just trying to see if there's anything that is better to counterpick.
There's not. Spoiler. Like, we've all sat here and gone, geez, what are we going to do? Please take a -7 or 8 from Like a Dragon.
Do we have a sidebar on Like a Dragon? I can't remember.
We don't. You want to make one? $5 that it's over 75.
That's not even a bet. No, it's definitely going to be like a 77 or 78. No,
Yeah,
I'm
there's
not
no
taking
balls
that
in
bet.
that.
Yeah, there's
Small
no balls.
Chris.
Yeah.
Objection.
Okay. You guys, I'll draft my counter pick here. It's got a blank drop down menu.
The draft is complete.
What'd you take?
Alan Wake 2.
Hey, that's smart.
Yep.
It's fair. TBA release 2023 estimated. By them? By the fans? All right, gentlemen. It's been a pleasure drafting these games with you.
Any side bets that need side betting? I'd also love to hear one outlandish prediction for the year in video gaming from each of us.
Let's recap what our drafts ended up being, and then we can come up with a hot take.
In draft order, EJ, lead us off.
In draft order, I took Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom, Fire Emblem Engage, the Forza Motorsport reboot, Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe, Sea of Stars, Company of Heroes 3, Wo Long Fallen Dynasty, Horizon Call of the Mountain, Theater of the Final Bar Line, and the unannounced Fire Emblem remake. I don't feel bad about that. I don't feel as good as I could have looking at your guys' picks and what was available to me, but I feel good.
You doubled down on Fire Emblem. I think that's maybe the major mistake. Is I know it's been rumored for a while, but I don't know if they would put out 2 Fire Emblems in the same year.
They've done it before.
When?
With a remake.
But it was the same game when they did that.
No, they did. What was the
Did they do Shadow Dragon the same year as another game?
Oh, it might have actually not been the same year. Same 12 months, but not the same calendar year.
Yeah, I don't.
Oh, do you mean
that.
the Gaiden one?
There was Shadow of Valentia that came out.
Yeah, that came out a while after Fates, though. I thought.
Was it a year? Let's see.
And that was also a more desperate Nintendo with 3DS really holding the entire company aloft.
It released in 2016, so they were less than a year apart. It looks like, but they were in America anyway.
Yeah. I mean, it's not impossible, obviously, and it's a Hail Mary, so it's like no skin off your back if it doesn't come out, but I just thought that was a little bit interesting.
Sure. Yeah, I didn't think about it that way, but, yeah. Chris, what'd you get here?
Cumsoft drafted in order the Resident Evil 4 remake, Starfield, Pikmin 4, the Elden Ring DLC, unannounced Elden Ring DLC, Octopath 2, Redfall, Like a Dragon, Ishin, Horizon Forbidden West, Burning Shores, the Superior Horizon DLC, System Shock, and Kerbal Space Program 2, and then counterpick Tekken 8, which is not coming out this year.
I picked up Hollow Knight Silk Song, first round, first pick.
Following your heart for the 3rd year in a row.
Did I pick it in 2021?
I gotta go look now. So it's been picked up every year.
Did Chris pick it last year?
Did Chris have it?
I did pick it, and I thought about taking it. That's when I was like, no flyers in the draft. I'm going to do something stupid. That's when I thought about taking number 1 overall. I just couldn't bring myself to do it.
Nick took this first overall in 2021.
You know, feel good about it.
All right, back for more. 3rd time's a charm, baby.
Yeah, dog bit me twice or whatever, hair of the dog. Anyway, then I picked Street Fighter 6, Dead Cells, Return to Castlevania, Metroid Prime 1 HD for my unannounced game, Diablo 4, Gunbrella, Hogwarts Legacy, She Dreams Elsewhere, Tekken 8, and Braid Anniversary Edition. And I counterpicked Kerbal Space Program 2.
In the first draft from FirmSoft. I drafted Marvel Spider-Man 2 first, Final Fantasy 16, and then Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, Star Wars Jedi Survivor, the Dead Space remake, Atomic Heart, and then what else did I draft here? I drafted Lies of P, and then the rumored Metal Gear Solid remake as my unannounced, and then Sons of the Forest and Alan Wake 2, and then I counterpicked She Dreams Elsewhere.
This is like really hard to judge this draft. I think I probably have the worst at a glance,
and yet,
but I tried to go for things with less variance. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy for being confident in some of those, but like Starfield, if that hits, dude, that's gonna fucking hit.
Yeah, man.
Could that be this generation's Skyrim? 10s out of 10s?
Could be. Could be a 79. I don't know.
I think there's like a very, 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 very small chance that it gets below an 80.
But it's non-zero. I mean, we all acknowledge that. Like,
obviously.
What did Cyberpunk review at?
Oh God. I mean, why
it got brought down eventually.
Them? Why compare them? Like,
I was gonna say Fallout 4 was an 88.
76. Wow. Holy shit. I compare them
Speaking
because
of 76.
Yeah, right.
Cyberpunk was broken on release, though. Starfield is not going to be broken on release.
Every Bethesda game is beyond broken on release. That's what they're known for.
Except Skyrim.
Skyrim was massively broken. It was so broken the PS3 had to be delayed by 2 years.
And what were the review scores? Astronomical.
This isn't an era where people don't forgive that jank anymore, and Cyberpunk was really the poster boy for that. Cyberpunk got 9s. But because of how unfinished and broken it was, it got brought down to a 76 with a 63% recommendation.
And why do you think they're pushing Starfield out? Why do you think they pushed it and pushed it and pushed it and pushed it? Because they know they can't do that.
Cyberpunk had 4 delays, including 1 2 weeks before it came out. The variance on the ceiling is so high and the floor is so low, not because it's going to be a bad game, but because Bethesda makes broken fucking games that could just land anywhere. Am I crazy?
You are crazy. Any outstanding side bets?
I would take a dragon side bet. At 75, that's not for me. That's weak.
Who do you think has the highest likelihood of getting their unannounced game actually come out this year? I think it might be Chris. If it gets enough reviews and scores is a different thing. I feel like FromSoft, I mean, Elden Ring obviously is an outlier because it was huge for websites, both in terms of like reviews and also traffic. Like a lot of people got a lot of hits just on like guides and stuff. So I feel like it's a high likelihood of getting reviews. I don't know if the Sekiro DLCs, I don't remember them getting a lot of reviews. Dark Souls 3 had really good reviewing. Well, I don't know how it reviewed, but people liked it. Same with Bloodborne. Bloodborne had fantastic DLC. I just don't know if Elden Ring's, because they just put out the Colosseum update last month, which isn't like DLC, but I don't know what they're going to do, if they're going to do like story DLC or if that'll even come out within a year or 18 months since that game came out. It'll make the calendar year.
Sekiro's DLC I'm not even seeing on OpenCritic.
Me neither.
But
I also don't remember if it was a paid DLC or if it was just like, hey, here's a boss rush mode. I can't remember.
I think it's more that than the other.
Yeah. So if Elden Ring puts out a proper DLC, it'll definitely get reviews. I had 200 reviews on OpenCritic and it sold gangbusters.
Sekiro's DLC wasn't paid, so that's why.
There you go. So no more side bets? We're feeling good?
I'm feeling good.
Fine.
Okay.
Fine.
And everyone, outrageous, outlandish, wild pick for the 2023 year in gaming.
Start us off, Chris.
You're gonna put me on the spot? All right. My outlandish, outrageous, ridiculous 2023 prediction is we get not one but two tentpole Final Fantasy releases. I don't know if that's gonna be Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I doubt it. Or if it's gonna be this other announcement that Kitase said he's sitting on. But I think we're getting two major Final Fantasy releases this year.
Wow. I thought that he said that big announcement was not Final Fantasy related.
Oh no, it's Final Fantasy related.
Oh, I might have misread that. Oh, geez.
Big Final Fantasy announcement coming in 2023. Kitase.
I bet it's just Sakaguchi writing the next expansion for Final Fantasy 14.
It could be. That would still be a major release. Have it on my watch list.
If it comes out this year. They can make an announcement and have it not come out this year.
Well, I don't know.
Have you heard of Square Enix?
Major is major. We'll see. Anyway, that's me.
I think we see the next generation Switch and it's coming out next year.
As in 2024?
Whoa.
Yes.
Yeah. Next gen Switch.
I don't know how outlandish that is. I feel like that's like a safe, it's been 6 years since the Switch came out. It'll be 7 if they put it out next year.
6 years.
Wow. I
Wow.
agree with Nick. My bold prediction is that the next gen Switch will not have backwards compatibility.
What a cynical.
Yeah, that's bold. That's bold and unlikely.
What an EJ pick. The cynical, negative worldview. Golly.
I mean, if he's wrong, it's a pleasant surprise, right?
That's
That
right.
would be a nightmare. I'm trying to reverse psychology the universe right now.
Yeah, big brain energy.
I don't know, Bren. You got any bold predictions?
Oh,
this year?
well, Nick kind of stole mine.
Oh,
Yeah. So I'm gonna go bolder. I'm gonna say that it's gonna come out this fall with
No way.
with Metroid Prime 4 as a launch title.
Okay, that's crazy. That's bold. I don't think you believe yourself.
Well,
What was the second part?
with Metroid Prime 4 as a launch title.
You gotta put money on it now.
My dude.
See, because I was gonna say it was gonna come out next March, but I can't
That's
coattail
more
off
likely.
of Nick.
Yeah, well,
So
that's true.
I'll just say that Metroid Prime 4 is gonna be a launch title.
That's not a bad prediction, honest to God. Like, it would explain a number of things. I, in my heart of hearts, want to believe that they really want to get this right. And God knows I have goggles on when it comes to all things Metroid.
You want to know what my actual bold prediction for this year is?
Yes.
It's that Lord of the Rings Gollum will actually score in the 80s.
Oh my God, that's. If you want to say bold and stupid are the same thing.
Notice that I did not draft it. Okay.
I didn't
notice
even.
that.
God, I forgot that's even coming out.
Dude, we watched the trailer for that earlier today, and the comments on it were just phenomenal.
They're just banger after banger, dude. It looks so bad. It's just unanimously like people aren't even mad. They're just like, yeah, this is terrible. This is certainly one of the games of all time.
This is certainly.
I love that. That's one of my favorite phrases.
Oh man, it's gonna be awful. No, it's gonna score in the 80s. That's my bold prediction.
Wow.
It'll be a pleasant surprise for the weirdos who like that kind of thing.
Oh God, that's funny.
GG's, fellas. That's a good draft. I feel so much worse right now than I did going into it. All of my big brain plays. I'm shocked at some of the early picks that you guys had. Brennan is the only one that really drafted predictably and well.
If we look at projected points, the order of finish, it's Brennan in first with 131 projected points, me in second with 127, EJ with 118, and Nick bringing up the rear in 107.
It'd be interesting for me to go back and look at the historical draft to projected points ratio, because the projected points are based off of how many other people are picking up those games. So it's more of like a popularity contest than it is an evaluation of what the quality will be or what the review score likely would be.
Well, popularity maybe, but also maybe what do other people have their fingers on the pulse of? You know what I mean? And I think that you picked a lot of games that are 100% going to be great, and you pick some that I'm like, boy howdy, like it may be, or it may be like a mid 70s. We shall see. That's the thrill of it. That's fantasy.
A lot of people drafted Forspoken. That's why that was so hotly in the projected points.
Nobody touched Forspoken, and that's coming out like in a week, in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As much shit as we give each other, we at least don't have the big brain idea to draft that fucking abomination. It looks awful.
Have you played the demo yet?
No, fuck no. I watched a preview on it.
Have an opportunity for yourself to get a gauge on what it feels like.
I may download the demo because that could be like a $1 bid kind of situation where I'm like, well.
The previews have all been like, yep, it's certainly a game. It is very fast paced.
One of the games of all time.
It certainly is. Of all the games coming out in January, that is definitely one of them.
Anyway, that's a good draft. That's a good draft. We did well. Looking forward to this year.
We'll see how things unravel and how I unhinge myself from reality, thanks to you guys.
Oh, you're welcome, Boo Boo.
Thanks for joining us, Brennan.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for having me, guys. I'm really looking forward to this.
Now, I told Brennan I don't have a sounding board anymore to bounce all my ideas off of because...
Now he's the enemy.
It's the end of us, sir.
He was your trusted confidant, and now he is turncoat.
Fucking firm soft.
Six,
and
seven,
and
8,
and
9,
and
10.
I muted myself instead of Chris, so when we got counting, I just heard Chris going on the fucking offbeat, and it fucked me up so hard. Well, we're fine.